The belief for the business of Curtin Springs and for the family of Curtin Springs is simply about sharing the wonders of our home. We think this is an amazing part of the world. We're very, very honoured and humbled to be living here and to have stewardship of the land that we're responsible for. The traditional structure of Curtin Springs as the cattle station and the tourism that support service for the visitors had been a strong model for over 50 years. However, in those periods of 2012-13, we had impacts on both sides of the business. So we'd had the global financial crisis, which created a challenge for the tourism sector in the entire world. At the same time, there had been the live export ban. That ban had a flow-on effect to the wider industry for an extended period of time.
Aren't you a pretty boy?
Based on those two pressures, on one side, as a farmer, as a person growing food in the desert, how do we engage visitors about how do we tell that story, about how we do look after the land, about how we can run production hand in hand with protecting what is a 1 million-acre wildlife corridor. And on the other side, is there a new tourism product that we can look at that encourages people to stay with us 1 hour longer? During the camel project, one of the scientists who was studying the decomposition rate of feral camels simply made an off-the-cuff comment one day about, they make paper out of the spinifex, don't they? It was an opportunity, and I said to Ash, I think that's something that we could do. If we can make paper out of the native grasses on the station, then that's an opportunity for us to tell that story, to show people in practical terms our connection with the landscape.
We make it from the native grasses that grow all over the station, and we boil it until it's cooked. So this machine takes our cooked grass and it breaks it down into something much more fine. So we can make spinifex paper every day for the next 6 months, and every day that paper will come out differently, different texture, different colour, different feel to it. And we rock it, and there's our sheet of paper. It's as simple as that.
When Amy, one of our children, came home, she was able to see that opportunity, and she's certainly taken the paper product to the next stage. She's making handmade jewellery out of the paper. She's also had 2 art exhibitions. We're running artist in residence programs. We're running extended day workshops. The Curtin Springs paper product has expanded quite a lot. The third part of the tourism business for us are the Curtin Springs walks, where we do private guided walks out onto the salt lakes on the station or out around the base of Mount Connor. 2 amazing and spectacular land types that we are very honoured to have. And it's an opportunity to allow visitors to step into that landscape very gently, and for us to be able to clearly demonstrate to them how we run that production versus protection, which is the core of the business for us. Ash has had some health issues over the last few years, and some of that was fairly major. Coming out the other end of that and having him fit and healthy and still able to do the list that I make for him every day. A huge accomplishment for him at a personal level, and for us as a couple, and for the family. Ash and I particularly are working towards being able to have a bit more space, to be able to have some quieter time. We've got a fairly large capital expenditure program about increasing staff accommodation for our staff, putting in a new commercial kitchen, increasing public amenities. We're looking at expanding Amy's jewellery, looking for those opportunities. Curtin Springs is home. I get to wake up next to the most amazing man. And then I get to go to work every day with his dad. And our children. And we get to hug grandbabies every day. And we get to do it in an environment that we have a responsibility for. So that's what it means. And sometimes we get to share that. But at the end of the day, Curtin Springs means home.